Welcome, welcome. I'm John. I got my pomegranate mimosa, and today we're gonna talk about the most ordered brunch drink in America, usually adequate, from time to time, bottomless. So here's the thing, when you do it right, when you mix sparkling wine and juice, it's just brilliant. It has a real history to it, and a philosophy too. And once you go beyond orange juice, that's when things start getting interesting. So today, I'm gonna give you the full picture, the history of the drinks, the science of sparkling wine sweetness, how to make them right, and some unexpected pairings that you might just change your way of thinking about brunch. First, let's start with the history. Ritz, Paris, 1920s. The Bucks Club in London. The Great War is over. Paris and London are the center of the world. In 1921, a private gentleman's club in London called Bucks Club invents the Bucks Fizz. The ratio? Bucks Fizz is simply 2 parts champagne, 1 part orange juice. Now, rumors start about this popular and super obscure drink until it comes to the attention of a bartender at the Ritz Hotel in Paris. And this is where everybody who matters goes to be seen. So there are American expats there, there are European aristocrats, there's artists and writers, they're all there. And in 1925, the head bartender, Frank Meyer, creates the Mimosa. The twist, it's equal parts champagne and juice instead of 2 to 1. He names it after the mimosa flower, the bright yellow flower plant, because of the color. And it's elegant, it's refreshing, and it's socially acceptable to drink in the morning. And that last point actually matters. It's the era of the 3 martini lunch, but drinking hard liquor at breakfast just wasn't really accepted then. But champagne with juice, that was civilized. So let's just think about that philosophy for a second. The French version, which is half and half, it's almost a juice drink with bubbles, where the English version is just a wine with a little bit of juice in it. Maybe the name is the thing that really brings it home. An elegant woman would certainly much rather order a mimosa with a French accent than to bark, "Hey, another Bucks Fizz, barkeep." And look, I'm in the Bucks Fizz camp for sure. When you use equal parts, the wine starts to disappear and you lose kind of the toasty notes and the complexity and the reason to drink a real champagne in the first place. 2 to 1 actually lets you taste the sparkling wine more. But I'm me, the mimosa rules, and 1 to 1 is the official ratio of sparkling wine to juice. This is what we need to do before we do anything, which is talk about sweetness. Because this is where most mimosas kind of go off the tracks. And it also happens to be one of the most confusing things about sparkling wine generally. Sparkling wine has a sweetness scale. And here's the good news. It's the same scale, whether you're looking at champagne or cava, cremant, or prosecco. The labels mean the same thing. And here it is, from driest, that is the least sweet, to the sweetest. First we start with Brut Zero, Brut Natural. This has no sugar at all, it's just kind of austere. You have Extra Brut, where there's barely any sugar, it's still very dry, and then you have Brut, which is kind of the sweet spot for mimosas. It's dry, but it has a little bit of sweetness and makes it approachable. Extra Dry. This is where it really gets confusing. Extra Dry is sweeter than Brut, and I know it makes no sense. I did not come up with this terminology. Most Proseccos are extra dry, which is why they taste a little more like candy. Dry or sec are noticeably sweet. This is starting to be dessert territory. Demi-sec is sweet. It's really good with dessert, but it's just not good with mimosas. And Doux, which is full-on dessert wine, it's just sweet. You're gonna look for the word Brut, and that's your target. And if you see extra dry, now you're gonna know that's actually sweeter. When you add juice, which has its own sugar, you might end up with a drink that's just like cloyingly sweet. I do wanna talk a little bit about principal ways they make the 2 different types of sparkling wine, the bubbles. Not all sparkling wine is made the same way, and it's worth understanding this difference. There's the method champonnet, which is called the traditional method, and this is how champagne's made. You make a still wine, and you add some sugar to the bottle, you seal it, and then you let it ferment a second time inside the bottle. So the CO2 just has nowhere to go and it dissolves into the wine. Then the wine ages on those dead yeast cells, the lees, and they do for months or sometimes years. And that gives champagne those tiny persistent bubbles and that toasty, bready flavors. Cava from Spain uses the same method. So does Cremant from France. It just means it wasn't from the Champagne region. These different types have the same type of notes that a Champagne would at a lower price. Then you have the tank method called Charmat, and it's different. The second fermentation just happens in a big giant tank, not in individual bottles. It's way faster, it's cheaper, and it also helps preserve the fruity, fresh flavors. And this is how Prosecco is generally made. The bubbles tend to be bigger and less persistent. What does any of this mean for mimosas? Honestly, the truth is they both work fine. You're drinking a mimosa pretty quickly. It's not like you're nursing it for an hour. It's just about flavor for you. The traditional method wines will have the toasty, bready, sometimes nutty notes, and that complexity will carry through depending on what juice you use. And then tank method wines like Prosecco keep things fresh and fruity. You have the green apple and the pear and the white flower, so it's just more bright and more straightforward. And listen, neither is better. It's just a question of what you're in the mood for. It's more Cava Cremant if you want depth, Prosecco if you want brightness. What to buy? Here's my shopping advice. Top pick, Cava. $8 to $15, $18, $20 maximum. This is traditional method, it's bone dry, it's a really easy go-to for mimosas. Great alternatives are Cremant. So Cremant d'Alsace, Cremant de Loire, Cremant de Bourgogne. These are going to be a little bit higher price. They are French and they use the original method that they use in Champagne. But if you're in celebration mode, knock yourself out. Get a Brut Champagne. But Prosecco is the great choice if you want something fresh and fruity. Look for Brut, not extra dry. And that fresh apple and pear character can be really nice in a mimosa. I'm gonna have a little bit of this. I'm gonna head over to the bar. I will see you there. Now we're at the good part. We're gonna make a mimosa. But first, I'm going to remind you of a couple things. First of all, the first thing that you want to put in is your sparkling wine. The reason for that is because that's the best way to mix it. The problem is the sparkling wine has bubbles, right? And so that will basically go away the harder you pour it. So you want to pour it a little bit gently. Now, if you remember, the Bucks Fizz has twice as much as the mimosa. I am pouring a mimosa right now, even though my preference might just be a Bucks Fizz. Half is going to be the sparkling wine, and then lightly pour your fresh orange juice over it, and voila, you have your mimosa. Now, let's just say you want to make it a Bucks Fizz, feeling a little saucy, that's okay too. Just put some more champagne in there, just nice and slowly, and then you'll have accomplished your Bucks Fizz. You can finish this off with a strawberry garnish. There's other garnishes, but this is it. This is your basic brunch winner. Make it yourself, make it at home, use fresh juice if you can, then experiment with a different kind of sweetness. And then you'll figure out what's perfect for you. Let's break out something else. Moving around Europe, we are now on to Italy. 1940s, Harry's Bar in Venice, Italy, and they invent the Bellini. So the Bellini is equal parts Prosecco, just traditionally they use Prosecco, and then equal parts puree from a peach. And so you will see that this will give you a much thicker kind of like texture, and a lot of times you'll want to stir it. Now, because this is a textured sort of treat, what I like to recommend is to use something a little bit different to pair with it. Here I have yogurt covered raisins. A lot of times people talk about what it is that makes a pairing. Is it sweet and sweet? Is it sweet and salty? Like, what is the combo? In this particular case is the textures. So just because both are sweet, both have a creamier texture, and I think that you'll really enjoy those together. Make sure to mix your puree. If they are not in season, you can use frozen peaches, just grind them up, and then make sure that you have just a little bit of extra space in your tummy because they are heavier than a mimosa. But here's to the Bellini, an Italian invention. All right, next we're gonna go a little bit tropical. So this is actually mango. This is also a highly textured puree, and so it's going to be thicker in your mouth. You can also use pineapple. Don't use sweetened pineapple, by the way. If you get pineapple juice, get the unsweetened kind. Let the champagne, the Prosecco in this case, do the work. But you're gonna see that it is a wonderful kind of like getaway. I think of it as my beach mimosa. This is it, this is the mango. Okay, next on the hit parade, my favorite name, the megamosa. Now weirdly, the megamosa is drank more in New England than anywhere else. And the megamosa is grapefruit juice. And so here we are in Florida, something that we don't have very often. It is obviously going to be thinner and lighter, but it is very bitter. I have made some simple syrup. Now why do we do simple syrup? Basically it's just water and then we dilute the sugar in it. The reason that we do that is quite simple, and it's just too bitter. And we don't want granulated sugar, so we're trying to avoid texture, so it's like a bartender trick. We are going to do the megamosa, same thing. It's 1-to-1, and you are going to add your grapefruit juice, and then just a touch of the simple sugar. You don't have to use too much of it. Remember, the trick to all this is getting everything really cold, because you don't want to have warm mimosas, right? That's why we drink them fast. It's also just because it's refreshing. And this one, especially refreshing. Next, we have basically lemon mimosa. It's a lemonade and mimosa. We did some fresh lemons here today. And when you do fresh lemons, obviously you have the same problem. I brought out the simple syrup for this one as well. And we put in about 1-to-1. That might have been a little bit light. And then a little bit of this simple. And you have probably the lightest and most refreshing of any mimosa you could have. These are a little bit dangerous, but they're really good for hot days. Just fantastic. And then finally, I'm pairing them with these apple chips. Now why apple chips? Because when you have lightness, and we were talking about texture before, it's kind of nice to have the brittleness with it. We're combining textures with the yogurt raisin with the puree. And here we're actually using crunch against something that's very acidic. And so those are just kind of fun, different things to try. Pass your Sunday with a little bit of food in your belly. We got the megamosa, we've got the lemonade mimosa. We're doing pretty well. Well, I don't know I saved the best for last, but I definitely saved the prettiest for last. This is blood orange mimosa. Now, blood oranges are a seasonal orange. In fact, they're pretty hard to get your hands on. But if you could find some freshly squeezed blood orange juice or even some high quality grocery store blood orange juice, you still get the same result. This is the one I use the rosé for. It's just too pretty. So what you'll see is, you will see that it will not thin out that beautiful color. Remember, same 1-to-1 ratio. It will not thin out the beautiful color, and it will make it a beautiful, beautiful blood orange, pink, delicious treat. This is something that is like a total showstopper. You could garnish it again with something red, but I love it with something green. You know, you could put a lime on it, you could put whatever, but they're just a fantastic, different way to approach your Sunday, and everybody feels pretty good after that. Thanks for joining us. Cheers to Mimosa Day, and I hope that your Sunday is bottomless.